A machine that can banish these high ones. The mysteries of this world are endless, aren't they?
I know, but still, it doesn't feel right. I just hope he knows what he's doing.
The prodigy, huh?
My Sir Deluna. And I thought... Well, seems the Grandmaster is crazy for you. So who am I to question his judgment?
Is this important?
They just sit on their asses and...
An outlander? What are you doing in this part of the city? Shouldn't you be...
And so the circle closes, as it does for these three virtuous souls we are mourning today. But fear not, for they gave their life for a just cause, for the greater good, and will thus be walking on the endless paths forever, together with our Lord Malthus. Magistra Jaela, keeper of the third sigil and master of the archives, Stalwyn Willowsong, keeper of the first sigil, and Liджам Lightman, novice. May the Lord receive your souls today and grant you that you may walk the paths for eternity.
Oh, just shut up, won't you? As if you believe any of this yourself.
Keeper, you...
Malthus is dead. Our Lord is dead. And if even he could not last through the ages, how is he supposed to lead us along the eternal paths? A dead god?
I just don't see the fucking point.
Take her away.
Yes, just go on. Close your eyes and pretend that none of this is happening. It's what you've always been good at. The cleansing is our punishment, don't you see? The punishment because we failed the Lightborn. That we let someone kill them. And the High Ones will take us all. Do you hear me? They will take us all.
Keep going.
But...
Keep going!
Magistra Jaela, keeper of the third sigil and master of the archives, Stalwyn Willowsong, keeper of the first sigil, and Liджам Lightman, novice. May the Lord receive your souls today and grant you that you may walk the paths for eternity. Walk blessed, my child. How may I help you? Let me see. Yes, that is... Malthus bless this body, rid it of its afflictions and endow it with life, path abidingness and new strength. What it is? Now that's quite the question you're asking there. But fine, why not? The path is two things. For one, it is the name of holy writing that encompasses both the revelation of the Lightborn after the fall of the Eterna King Azataron, and the journey of the first vassals to Enderal, who founded this country under Malthus's guidance. It also tells us the virtue of the path, the ideals by which every Enderalayan should live, which is the only way to salvation. Secondly, it is the holy calling of each Enderalayan citizen. Yes. Only a people united in flesh and spirit shall prevail throughout the ages. Verse 39. There's the path of the manufacturers, whose hard work provides for the iron and food of our people. Then there's the path of the erudites, who follow professions that require higher knowledge, such as scribery and alchemy. And then there are the sublime, who were born to lead our country. Within one's path, a person is free to choose, but to cross those borders is almost always blasphemy. There are exceptions in which a soul's destiny unveils only later in its life. For example, there was Laura Mortarblade, who was born to the manufacturer's path, but who became one of the most fabled keepers of Enderal. But they are what they are, exceptions. Yes, now don't tell me you've never heard of that before. It is recounted the same way in the entire civilized world. It was the Lightborn who saved this world from the chaos it fell into after Azatron's death. Yes, Enderal was, other than countries such as Nerim, Kira, or wherever you come from, an uncharted land. It was Malphus himself who showed a young couple, Selna and Keteron, and their followers the way to Enderal. But it would take far too long to recite that entire tale, and I doubt you have that much time. If you are interested in their journey, I suggest you read The Path. It is good for the soul anyway. You are welcome, child. Walk blessed.
You're the one they call the Prophet, aren't you? Congratulations on passing a trial, I guess.
There you are. Lashari brought that map from some Parayan ruin a couple of weeks ago. Looks confusing, doesn't it? She said it contains more knowledge about the Parayans than all the tomes in the Sun Temple's library put together. And now she's gone, just like Constantine. It still feels surreal. Well, let us say that I have been thinking a lot about the decisions we make in life and where they lead us. But let's not talk about that now. I did, yes, because I require your help in a personal matter. There hasn't been a good time since the Red Madness broke out. And believe me, I wouldn't bother you with this if it weren't important. Hard to explain. Come. Fair enough. Where do I start? Imagine the following scenario. You're in an old fortress. Suddenly a door opens and a bandit charges in. Before you even realize what is happening, he raises his bow, nocks an arrow, and fires it straight at your throat. What happens next? That is one possibility, yes. It might be the one you would experience. Truth, however, is a bit more complex than that. Reality branches off into millions of new realities. One in which the bandit kills you, one in which he gets hit by a falling piece of rubble from the ceiling, one in which a tunnel spider jumps out from the shadows and kills him. The possibilities are endless. Everything that can happen will happen, and creates a new eventuality in the process, another reality. In a million others, yes. There might even be one where a magical anomaly suddenly transforms the bandit into a Mirad. Everything that can happen will happen. This is the nature of our universe. I'm getting there. I assume you know that this mechanism is also the reason for the existence of magic. An arcanist is able to transport eventualities from one reality into another, and thus perform feats considered supernatural. So far, so good. But what if there were a way to not only bring elements of other eventualities into ours, but to travel these other realities physically? I am indeed. Well, this is where it gets exciting, isn't it? With the Planeswalker. Come, let us sit. Have you ever heard of the name Dalmarek? That's the one. What hardly anyone knows, however, is that Dalmarek's experiments reached far beyond the Sunwheel. Among other things, he worked on a device called the Planeswalker, a combination of Endralian mentalism and Paraean technology. Temporarily, yes. Sadly, Dalmarek never had the chance to finish it, since he was too busy blowing up Thalgard. Lashari? No. Even if we were to find a reality where she didn't die, we couldn't bring her back. Suffice it to say that there is something I need to see. Something I want to see. To be honest, it wasn't my intention to drag someone else into this. But there's no other choice, so here we are. We should, yes. But let me reassure you that this endeavor won't take up too much of our time. And as I've already said, I would not bother you with this if it weren't important. Indeed. It would mean a lot to me, if that's worth anything to you. Apart from doing a good deed, and the chance to do something Arcanists have been dreaming of for millennia, rest assured I will properly reward you. Well, first of all, we need to acquire two materials I wasn't able to find here in Ark. The ether crystal, and a special kind of alloy. According to my research, Dalmarek's old laboratory in Thalgard would be a good place to start our search. Yes, I'll tell you more about it later. You mean Jakil and Mjoral? Yes, they could. But their magical talents aren't anywhere near powerful enough to help with the activation ritual. Also, son knows why, I can't help but feel a certain amount of trust towards you. Right in the middle of Thalgard's contaminated areas, so it will be dangerous. You have a map, don't you? Here. That's where we should find the entrance. I have some preparations to make first, so let us meet there shortly. Ah, and one more thing. I would appreciate it if we could keep this matter between you and I for now. I know I've said it before, but this mission is personal, and I'd rather not have to justify it to Aranthiel. Firstly, because it's a personal matter. Secondly, it's too much of a risk as long as Khalim and his helper are still sauntering about. The less people know of this mission, the better. Oh, that's complicated. We'll talk about it once we get there. The essentials. Well, suffice it to say that what happened to Lashari and Constantine have made me question certain things. I know that they gave their lives for the greater good, but frankly, there have been times when I've found it hard to stay true to our cause. I am hoping that what I'll find over there will help me regain some sense of purpose. Yes, I know, probably not the answer you were hoping for, but it's the best I can do for now. Forgive me. We will. I will meet you in Thalgard.
So much to do, so little time.
Tenacious bastards. Sunborn, the descendants of those who had the dubious pleasure of surviving the Sunfire. They don't. I'm not an expert on the subject, but as I understand it, the after effects of the Sunfire cripple their vocal cords. Well, you'd have to ask the Holy Grand Master about that. But honestly, why would they? To the Order, the Sunborn are just a bunch of disfigured savages inhabiting a ruined patch of land. They don't dare go outside the contaminated area. I don't think so. Researching the matter would be quite costly, and who would profit from it? As I said, two objects. The ether crystal, and a special kind of alloy. I'll look for the alloy, you look for the crystal. Agreed? I don't know exactly, but according to my sources, it's made of a fluorescent blue mineral. And regarding your first question, it's the core element of the Planeswalker. Think of it as a kind of enhancer of one's gaze into the sea of eventualities. Well, the reason so many Arcanists lose their minds is that we as mages constantly perceive other eventualities. Not consciously, but as some kind of background static. The ether crystal strengthens our perception of other eventualities while we wear it. If you were to have it with you permanently, then yes, maybe. I suggest you try his old laboratory first. It should be close to the library, so further down. Come on, let's get started. Just come back here once you've found the crystal. Try the laboratories. If the crystal is still here, that's where it would be.